Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers provide hot meals to residents who are suffering from the flooding in Chachoengsao province. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers look after an 86-year-old Hindu care recipient who has to provide for her 2 great-grandchildren. And in Taiwan, Northern Taipei team of doctors make house calls to solitary seniors in Ruifang District, New Taipei City. We start today's show in Thailand, where many parts of the country remain flooded from the severe rain that hit earlier. On October 23rd, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a disaster assessment in Muang Mai, Chachoengsao province, and discovered many local residents are in desperate need of cooked meals. Thus, the volunteers set up a temporary service center at a local school, where they will cook meals for flood survivors until November 9th.
It has been more than 20 days since many parts of Thailand were struck by severe flooding. Currently, residents living in Chachoengsao province, Muang Mai, are still living in extreme hardship.
Our village was flooded in 2011 and 2012. However, both of them weren't that bad. This year was the worst.
After conducting a disaster assessment on October 23rd, Tzu Chi volunteers have discovered that local residents are in need of food. To help, the volunteers set up a temporary Tzu Chi service center at the Wasam Pumarawa school to prepare vegetarian meals. Upon receiving the news that the Buddhist NGO is providing hot meals, Ms. Wa traveled by foot for more than 2 hours to pick up delicious vegetarian meals. Despite the long distance to the venue, she is grateful that she was still able to make it to the school.
The flood waters were up to my waist. I had to walk through them to get here. Luckily, the water has started to recede around the school, so it is easier for us to walk.
Knowing that many flood survivors can make it to the venue, Tzu Chi volunteers split up into teams to personally deliver these hot meals door to door. Other than delivering food, the volunteers also offer their blessings and encouragement to the residents. In spite of the disaster, many survivors are grateful for their safety. Although a flood survivor herself, 76-year-old Grandma Samjit has kindly let other flood survivors stay temporarily at her house. To help the flood survivors, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to provide hot meals until November 9th. The volunteers hope with their help, these survivors can get back on their feet as soon as possible.
Diwali, or the Festival of Lights for Hindus, is similar to the Chinese New Year celebrations. Malaysia's Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter usually rent a venue to hold Diwali aid distributions. This year, however, a Hindu temple was kind enough to lend volunteers their temple to hold Tzu Chi's 4 aid distributions. Setting foot inside a Hindu temple takes on a different meaning, as for the first time ever, Malaysia's Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter didn't have to rent a venue to hold Diwali aid distributions for their care recipients.
So Tzu Chi also, as a Buddhist philosophers organization, is also focusing on spiritual thoughts and thinking and movement. So I think so we also part of it to give whatever we can give to you people to use this space.
I feel your volunteers are doing a great job. So well dressed, serving them the food. This gives them pleasure. No? They feel they are not underprivileged now. There is someone else to care for us.
During this year's distribution, many Hindus volunteered their time, and the vice principal of Serdang Tamil Elementary School was inspired to speak her appreciation.
Mereka sudah menolong kita.
Tzu Chi has helped us, and now it is our turn to help them help others who are less fortunate than we.
Lebih miskin dari kita.
Tzu Chi volunteers also had a photographer on site to take family portraits of each household. During the 4 distribution events, a total of 154 care recipients' families attended, and among them, many are already doing their part to give back.
I work 24 hours, and every weekend I will bring recyclables to the Tzu Chi Serikan Banggang recycling point.
I saw the video of Master Zheng Yan helping people, and now I'm inspired to donate a ringgit a day from my grocery money into the bamboo coin bank.
In this moment, the line that separates giver and recipient is erased, as Buddhists and Hindus stand hand in hand to face life's difficulties and foster seeds of love. Staying in Malaysia, recently Tzu Chi volunteers visited a tribal village in Kampung Segun to teach local residents of the many benefits of recycling and environmentalism.
Tzu Chi care recipient Maria of Kampung Sugut called on her fellow villagers to the nearby Tzu Chi recycling station to learn more about recycling. Now a month later, volunteers are at the village themselves to continue the lessons.
These are the remains of PET bottles. They are then used to make these thread.
Passing around dye technology products, volunteers show villagers that bottles can also be made into clothing.
Cut off the paper from these cans. The paper and cans must be sorted into their categories.
Recyclables need to be separated clearly for them to be useful, so everyone tries their hand at recycling and finds that it is not difficult.
My family produces a lot of garbage and a lot of plastic bottles. In the future, I will recycle those bottles.
I have told my friends how we need to keep our environment clean and protect this earth. Doing recycling together, we have come to understand the importance of recyclable resources.
Next, the villagers watch a film of Indonesians scavenging a mountain of garbage to survive.
It made me sad to think of how hard their days are eating leftover scraps. We're so fortunate to have rice to eat. Our lives are not as difficult as theirs, so I would like to help more people.
With a message of treasuring the earth and its resources, volunteers hope that these villagers will join them in protecting the earth for further generations.
Malaysia's Tzu Chi care recipient Mary Ai takes care of her 2 great-grandchildren. In order to provide for the kids, the 86-year-old senior got a job as a cleaning lady at a factory. However, the meager income was still not enough to feed the children at times. Now with volunteers by her side, Mary Ai has finally quit her job and has come to see Tzu Chi volunteers as her extended family. Last year during Diwali, when Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers visited care recipient Mariai, they found her lying on the floor with the fever, and her great-grandchildren were not much better off.
When we first came in, we saw her lying there and we thought something had happened to her because we called her for a long time and she didn't wake up. We were scared. I'm really glad we came by to visit her today. I don't know what would have happened if we had not visited.
Mariai has had a difficult life. Widowed at a young age, her only daughter also later passed away. 2 years ago, her granddaughter left 2 children in 86-year-old Mariai's care and disappeared, forcing the senior to get a job to provide for the children.
Everyone that comes to visit her is moved by her story. No one can bear to see such an old person still having to make a living to provide for her great-grandchildren. Listening to her story, our problems no longer seem to be such a big deal.
Mariai's body is long due for retirement, but in order to make ends meet for her family, she used to work 7 days a week as a cleaning lady in a factory. Seeing her plight, Tzu Chi volunteers wanted to shoulder some of the burden the senior faced and apply for the family to become Tzu Chi care recipients. Mariai also accepted the volunteers' suggestion and finally retired this year.
Now she is receiving rent and transportation subsidies from Tzu Chi, so she no longer needs to work. When we tease her asking if she still wants to work, she'll say, no, no, no.
This group of Tzu Chi volunteers has long come to see Mary Ai as part of their family, decorating her house for Diwali and praying that the children's mother will return one day to pay everyone a visit. Moving our camera to Jordan to make sure 150 children suffering from Down syndrome who are currently living at the Young Muslim Women's Association Center for Special Education have enough food to eat, local Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with bags of rice from Taiwan.
Inside the special needs center, children happily welcome the Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers. As it is their first time visiting the school, the volunteers not only introduce the Buddhist NGO, but also present the children with peace charms.
This is a handmade peace charm. It means peace and happiness in Chinese.
The Young Muslim Women's Association Center for Special Education was established in 1995. Currently, 150 children with Down syndrome live at the school. Although they can't learn like normal children, through art classes, they can let their imaginations run wild.
The first time I came here, I was absolutely taken away by the joy of the children. I left crying. It was such an innocent experience to watch these children happy. Yet they have a handicap, and we don't have handicaps, and many of us spend our life very ungrateful and unhappy, and it was really lovely to see that.
Since the subsidies for this special center are limited, Jordan's Tzu Chi volunteers have gone the extra mile to deliver rice from Taiwan to the center.
Our master said, our blood is same color, is red. So we don't divide nationality, we don't divide religion, we don't divide race. We are the family.
Other than rice, the volunteers also offer these children their love and care. The volunteers' gestures touched the heart of a Jordanian princess who joined the event with Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Jihui.
I would like to thank the Tzu Chi Society for all of its generous work in Jordan, all of its hopeful, loving, kind, generous work in Jordan. Not just today for the gift that you have so kindly given us, which is wonderful, but also for everything that you do in Jordan. As I said, the prints that you have left in people's hearts, well, it's something that will never be forgotten. Thank you very much.
Thanks to rice from Taiwan, these children at the special center don't have to sleep on empty stomachs anymore.
In Taiwan, Northern District team of doctors and medical staff from the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital recently traveled to Ruifang District in New Taipei City to conduct home visitations and free clinics. Upon seeing many solitary seniors who feel helpless about life, doctors not only help bandage up physical pain, but emotional scars as well. Situated in northern Taiwan, Ruifang District in New Taipei City is known for its beautiful scenic views. However, because of its remote location, there is also a lack of medical care. To assist villagers with medical needs, team of doctors conduct local free clinics as well as home visitations. On this visit to Senior Chen, who suffered a stroke, doctors teach him how to do simple physical therapy movements.
I can only lie on my bed. This is what my life is like now.
Feeling helpless about his situation, team of doctors encouraged Senior Chen to take more walks outside. Meanwhile, arriving at another senior's house, doctors changed the dressing on an injured foot. Volunteers make plans to revisit the senior to check up on his condition.
We can teach patients how to change their dressings after we bandage them up. This patient returned to the hospital for regular checkups, so his recovery is better than most.
Continuing on their home visitation by foot, the team arrives at a house without running water or electricity by the abandoned railroad tracks.
Today I saw a few seniors without any family to take care of them, but what is fortunate is that neighbors were there to help.
Doctors tend to a senior's festering wound from his broken ankle. Upon departure, the senior gives his thanks as he knows his injury is now in good hands. According to the United Nations report, China's aging population has exceeded 100 million. Helping to care for this segment of the population have been Tzu Chi volunteers. As part of their regular schedule, Shanghai, Guangdong, and Jiangsu Tzu Chi volunteers recently paid visits to nursing homes, offering senior residents with much-needed warmth and care.
As part of their monthly visits, Shanghai Tzu Chi volunteers once again arrive with love and care.
去1楼，到楼下来，到1楼活动教室。听不见了。到楼下去有唱歌、跳舞，自己走吗？可以啊。自己去，听懂了。
As the activity gets on its way, Tzu Chi volunteers' lively performance makes the seniors all smiles. Next, Tzu Chi volunteers visit each senior in their room. This elderly couple seizes the opportunity to express their love for each other. China's population is rapidly aging at 3.8% per year, and China's Tzu Chi volunteers are shouldering the responsibility of caring for many of these disadvantaged seniors. Here at the nursing home in Guangdong's Dongguan, many solitary seniors have been placed here as they have nowhere else to go. Being proficient in Cantonese, volunteer Wu Changjun helps Grandma Wang Xiuyun translate during the event and also brings her favorite snake.
We need more local volunteers to chat with her because she can only speak Cantonese. She needs extra attention.
Meanwhile, in Jiangsu, Kunshan Tzu Chi volunteers visit a local nursing home where they prepare a fun game for the seniors. The volunteers also organize a birthday party for the elderly. As for those senior residents who are bedridden, the volunteers find their way to them. The volunteers' blessings bring warmth and love to these senior residents.
Staying in China, in Guangdong province, Dongguan Tzu Chi volunteers organized a series of tea gatherings where volunteers were invited to share their personal stories in the hopes of inspiring more residents to join their ranks. Here's more.
Seeing the numbers that have arrived for the tea gathering, volunteer Shen Rongbing is moved to tears.
He often takes his whistles along and directs traffic at intersections. To inspire more to join him, he bought each Taiwanese businessman a whistle.
This year, Shen will return to Taiwan to take part in the volunteer certification ceremony. Prior to the event, he was invited to share his thoughts.
They don't really understand Tzu Chi, so they cannot take Tzu Chi's ideals to heart. However, if they try to understand us, they will support us too.
Wu Jinghong was attracted by the warmth of the Tzu Chi family.
Tzu Chi demonstrates the beauty of humanity. After I joined the volunteers' ranks, they all treated me like family. Their hugs and love really moved me.
Ji Da-xin's son also showed up to thank Tzu Chi for motivating his father.
My father has changed a lot. He doesn't play mahjong as often as before, and now he has become more easygoing.
At the tea gathering, volunteers take the chance to repent for their past mistakes.
I used to be greedy, but now I have learned to be grateful.
I had quit playing mahjong. Don't invite me anymore.
With their family as their greatest source of support, they reflect on their past mistakes.
I hope my wife can keep working hard on the Tzu Chi path.
After she joined Tzu Chi, volunteer Qi Yanfen learned to show love and care to her parents.
Master Zhen Yan says we should show our love and care to our families rather than having arguments with them.
As the volunteers share their stories, countless seeds of love found roots in the hearts of the attendees.
In Taiwan, Nushu scholarship ceremonies were held recently to award outstanding students in various categories. In Taoyuan, 185 students received the special award, while 363 students in Banqiao were also honored. What these students all have in common is their ability to shine despite being dealt a bad hand in life. At the awards ceremony at the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds, recipient Xu Taiqing shared her story with those in the audience.
Instead of just cutting it short, donating my locks was more meaningful. There's nothing wrong with changing a hairstyle. After all, true beauty comes from within.
When He Peirong's father passed away, it forced the young girl to be strong and independent. Now she vows to be a social worker to help others like her.
At the time, many people lent my family a hand. Through this whole ordeal, I have learned independence.
Meeting Tzu Chi also changed Chen Jiazhen's life around.
What I'm most grateful for is, if it wasn't for Tzu Chi, I would have enlisted in the military by now.
Tzu Chi's scholarship helped Chen to complete her culinary arts degree.
Who says eating Japanese food only has to be about sashimi or other meats and fish? In the future, I want to incorporate vegetarian elements into Japanese food. This way, we can not only enjoy a delicious meal, but also look after our health.
Meanwhile, in Taoyuan's Jingsi Hall, a scholarship ceremony was recently held.
When his grandmother was at the hospital, he would visit and take care of her.
Huang Chuanshen is thankful for the scholarship he received this year, as when his grandfather passed away, he gave up on himself.
My grandfather loved me very much, and when he passed away, I felt I didn't do enough as a grandson, so I was very depressed.
With his older brother as an example and volunteers' encouragement, Huang successfully tested into Fujian Catholic University's law department.
I look up to my older brother. In the past, he didn't get good grades like he does now, but in his junior year, he decided to be studious and work hard. As his younger brother, I feel I would reflect badly on him if I didn't keep up.
Xu Chuanjia's mother is ill and unable to work. Thus, Tzu Chi's scholarship motivates the young boy to dream big.
My goal is to always get above 90% on my exams and become a doctor, so I may cure my mother's sickness when she falls ill.
Tzu Chi's Nushu scholarship not only assists families through financial hardship, but also serves as an encouragement for struggling students, helping them actualize their potential. At the end of the show, we return to Thailand and follow up with the flooding situation in Ratchas district in Chachoengsao province. This year's flooding has been worse than previous years. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers have been providing hot meals since the end of October and plan to be by their side till the disaster ends. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. See you next week.